Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Want to get to this video here comparing buying a car and buying a home. A couple different things I'm going to cover and talk about. Well, this milk is good. So I've seen this happen several times. It usually has to do with a car. Sometimes it's furniture, different things, any kind of debt, right? Any kind of debt. So in buying a home, you pretty much, you have to buy a home in this box, right? You need to fit in this box. You know, good lenders can move a little bit, can move the box around a little bit to offset some things. But pretty much, you know, it's really hard to buy a home without fitting in that box as far as debt to income, what you make, your credit score, how you make your money, right? You know, you got to check all these boxes in order to be able to qualify for buying a home. That is the hardest thing to do, right? It's very hard to qualify to buy a home. It is not hard to qualify to buy a car, right? I don't know if you listen to the radio or TV. There's all kinds of people. It's like, oh, I don't care what your credit score is or any of that. We'll get you in a car, right? There's all kinds of programs out there that makes it way easier to buy a car or to get furniture and any stuff like that. But where people make the mistake is they don't do it in the correct order. It is so important if you're even remotely thinking about buying a house in the future, but also you need a new car or you need a good used car, right, that you're still getting a loan for. Buy the home first. Your debt to income will be destroyed buying a car, right? And I'll give you a couple of different examples that I've seen. I've seen somebody's approved for $300,000, you know, looking, and this is way back when $300,000 could buy a lot of home. And we're looking, well, they went out and got a new car, seen them pull up in it, met them at, and I'm like, oh, you got a new car? Like, yeah, you know, blah, blah. And so we were just talking about it. I was like, well, you need to make sure you let your lender know. He said, what do you mean? I was like, well, that affects your debt to income, right? Now you have a car payment. It's probably higher than what it was before. So they did. And sure enough, it shot their pre-approval down to $100,000. And so I was working some numbers before this video. A good rule of thumb here, right? And this is just based on today. We're January 2024. I did a bunch of videos earlier for our TikTok we're going to put out. And I kept saying January 2023. It's crazy, January 2024. But we're January 2024, and so like a car loan, you know, good solid credit is like, you know, just doing some research was like average is like, you know, high sixes. And right now an FHA loan for great credit is like, you know, low sixes. So I was just kind of running some numbers using today's numbers and how it plays out. And essentially, for every $10,000 of car, and this is basically doing a 5-year loan. Right? So it's a 5-year car loan, which seems to be common for most people. Doing a 5-year car loan, for every $10,000 of car that you buy, you lose $20,000 of home you can purchase. So if you bought a $50,000 new truck, right, that's $100,000 gone that you can afford off the home based on your debt to income. And so that's why it's so important to buy the home. Right, you can buy the home that you want. If your debt to income's, you know, and you get approved for $300,000 max, and you want to spend the max budget, buy the $300,000 house. I guarantee you, when you go in the car dealership, even though from a debt to income ratio on the home buying, your debt to income is maxed out, they're going to figure out how to finance you and put you in a new car. Right? They're going to figure it. Plus, if you got good credit, they're going to figure it out no problem. So that's why it's very important. The order you do something in, it's always hardest to buy the home. Buy the home first, drive the beater around, you know, use friends and family, go buy a crappy car, you know, for a couple $1,000 until you find your home. And then after you close on your house, go out and buy the new car, you know, $50,000 car if you want to. I don't ever recommend it, right? In theory, buying a car, you know, you drive off the lot, it's worth, what, 25% less automatically. It's just how it works, right? So you're buying one asset that depreciates, and the other asset, a home, you know, appreciates, goes up in value. So buy the home first, and then you can go out and buy the car, guaranteed. But if you do it out of order, it will mess up your pre-approval. And I've seen people just get frustrated. You know, they had a home, real scenario. They bought a home. And man, then they bought a brand new truck, right? They got a job making a little bit more money. They got an awesome new truck. They got a motorcycle. They got a side-by-side. They had all the toys, right? All the toys. They didn't have a boat. They should have had a boat, but had all the toys. And so divorce situation, we had to sell the house. So we sold the house, and they're like, all right, I want to look for a home. We sold that house and looked for a home. Well, we went and talked to a lender, and he couldn't get pre-approved for nothing. He get pre-approved for like $110,000, which ain't buying nothing that's worth a crap. So essentially, it was, do you sell all that stuff, right? They've already depreciated, so now you're upside down in most of it because it was all within basically a year or two old. So the loan was for more than what the products were even worth. So it ended to rent. Right, that's the situation's in until he pays some stuff off, pays some stuff down, got to rent. So I've seen it countless times, seen weird stuff all the time. But buy the home first, and then go to the car dealership to buy your toys or whatever you want, right? And go buy the boat and go buy all that stuff. But you got to buy the home first. If you do it out of order, you will never be able to buy the home, and you're going to be stuck renting. There's nothing wrong with renting if that's what you want. But for people that want to buy a home, it's your debt to income is very, very. It's like walking on thin ice there, right? Walking on thin ice with a lender as far as your debt to income. If you have the debt, so the less debt you have, the more house you can afford, and then everything else, right? You need to buy furniture. I seen this happen to me. No joke. Buyers under contract, had rented. They were looking to buy furniture, bedroom sets, and all that stuff, which most people do. Well, we're 10 days away from closing, 10 days away whenever they did this, and then we're like 2 days away before closing, and the lender goes out and basically just does a repull, just looks at everything, and all of a sudden here is this debt that shows up that kills their debt to income for this new furniture. So they actually had to go and essentially get basically get a loan from a family member. There's documentation behind it. A loan from family members to pay off that debt of it, and then basically pay the family members back. If they couldn't have done that, that would have killed the entire deal, because and there's some, that could have potentially put them in a situation of being sued, right? Because, could a seller say they done that intentionally to kill the deal, kill their debt to income? Maybe. There could probably be an argument for that. Now it all got worked out, but there's certain circumstances, right? If you didn't have the family members that had the, $10,000 they could give you for the furniture to pay off that debt. So yeah, just some crazy things, but that's why talking with lenders is always important. Don't ever do anything. Don't open up a card. Here's the thing too. Don't pay off your car. If you got a car right now and you got pre-approved, you're good to go. Talk to your lender before you pay off your car, because I know this happens to people all the time. It happened to me personally. It was one of the first probably 10 deals I did on real estate. I got paid, so you know what? Let me pay my car off with this. Went, paid my car off, and then I get these credit reports I signed up for. Next thing I know, my credit score dropped 50 points. It dropped 50 points after paying off my car. Which is weird when you think about, man, I had better debt to income. That's good, paying off. But there's things with credit that paying off something can actually hurt you. Now, eventually, after a couple months, it shot back up way higher than what it was before. It's also kind of like buying a home. You buy a home, you close, your credit's going to go down a little bit. But after being a homeowner, 6 months or a year, it actually shoots up, and it's way more than what it ever was before. So credit's a funky thing, so make sure you talk to some lenders before doing some things, run your debt to income. But again, just a good rule of thumb, every $10,000 of car that you purchase, you lose $20,000 of home purchase. So $50,000 nice new vehicle will make you lose $100,000 of purchasing power when you're looking to buy a home. Questions, as always, guys, feel free to holler. Y'all have a great day.